What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Just doing a little instant reaction of the Steelers-Raiders game. Just wrapped up. Steelers pulled away with a 23-18 victory over the Raiders. Entertaining game, probably only for Steelers and Raiders fans, but they came out with a dub, so that was good to see. I just wanted to kind of highlight some some positives, some negatives from the performance, as well as some things to watch moving forward. Just before we get started, please make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment, let me know all that stuff. It's greatly appreciated. So to start out, man, I thought it was an encouraging game overall for the offense, particularly Kenny Pickett. Pickett's really struggled the first 2 weeks of the season, granted against really good defenses. I thought today was a step forward. I don't think that he was spectacular by any means, at least what I saw off broadcast, but he was certainly solid, and that's really all they needed to win tonight. I thought the deep ball to Calvin Austin was a beautiful throw with some pressure in his face. I thought he made some good throws when opportunities presented themselves. I was really encouraged. Just some of the things I was seeing offensively, they leaned into a little bit more under center play action stuff. I thought their best drive of the season came on their final scoring drive of the night. They mixed in some under center play action stuff, had Pat Freiermuth wide open for a touchdown in the red zone. That was really good to see. Speaking of Freiermuth, finally got him involved in the offense after he's been literally AWOL over the first 2 weeks of the season. So that was good to see as well. Just want to talk real quick about the run game. The run game is abysmal right now, and I'm not really sure what's completely going on with it, aside from they're just not winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. I mean, the offensive line's not run blocking well at all. They were only successful on 31% of their run plays tonight. Pretty brutal numbers, to be honest with you. Didn't seem like they had any type of success running from under center. They kept trying to run duo with the motion, and Marcus Peters was blowing stuff up in the backfield. It just seemed like it was more of the same. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, both those guys under 4 yards per carry. Both of them were getting hit in the backfield like every single time they touched the football. It's tough to run like that. They did find some success, I thought, in the gun when they were running some inside zone stuff. Chris Collinsworth kept calling that, said it wasn't inside zone, but it was definitely inside zone, so it was weird. But overall, I thought they had some success with that. I'm interested to see if they lean into some more spread formations, some more gun run. I always think when you're losing the battle at the line of scrimmage, like the Steelers have been over the first 3 weeks of the season, I think spreading teams out, getting some lighter boxes can sometimes be beneficial. So we'll see where that goes moving forward. George Pickens had another really good game. A lot better after the catch this season. I think he's already closing into his total of yak from his rookie year just through 3 weeks this year. So he was really good again. I thought definitely stepping up well in the absence of Deontay Johnson. I already talked about the offensive line from a run blocking standpoint. I thought pass protection could have been better. I need to really go back and watch because I felt like there were a handful of times where Pickett was getting a little happy feet in the pocket. I thought that the sack that Crosby had, I didn't love the way that Okorafor played that rep because he had help inside, and Crosby was able to win on his outside shoulder. But I thought Pickett kind of ran into pressure a couple times, which didn't help the O-line. But either or, in the first half, he was under a little bit of pressure from that standpoint, especially from a Raiders group. We talked about this through the week, but a Raiders group that really only has one pass rusher up front. I mean, it's Max Crosby, and that's it. That's all you really have to game plan for. But overall, an encouraging step forward for the offense. I do want to just add some context, man. Like, this Raiders defense is really bad. I mean, it's really bad. Max Crosby's an incredible player. I think their safeties are solid, but that defense is lacking talent. So there is some context needed. They were dead last in yards per drive, points per drive coming in, but the Steelers just needed a solid performance to kind of get back up off their feet after just being abysmal for the first 2 weeks of the season. I thought that this was a solid performance. Thought the play calling was better. I thought the execution across the board was better. No glaring mistakes. They kept, they took good care of the ball. Pickett didn't put the ball in harm's way. Had the one dropped interception, but looked like there was a miscommunication on that one. Just really need to figure out a way to become more efficient on offense, get this running game going moving forward. But, the defense I really thought played particularly well. Jimmy G on film, man, I thought he looked awful the first 2 weeks. So that was one of the reasons I thought the Steelers had a great chance to win this game. But Jimmy G, man, he got happy feet in the pocket, man. He's so frenetic back there, and I thought the Steelers pass rush was going to, cause him some problems. They came into the week having not allowed a sack yet, and the Steelers, I think, were able to sack Jimmy G 4 times. Almost had him a couple other times as well. T.J. Watt had an incredible game. I thought. Thought Keanu Benton had a really good game, had that club swim move for his first career sack. Really liked some of the stuff that I saw from some of the other guys as well. Montravius Adams was in the backfield a decent amount that I saw. Marcus Golden won on a quick win with a cross chop move. That's one of the things with Golden too. That's why I was so excited about the Steelers signing him. When he's like your 6th, 7th best pass rusher on the team when everybody's healthy, that just shows how insane this rush is. I mean, they're loaded up front, man, and that their pass rush and their defensive line is going to keep them in more games than honestly they probably should be in. So really good showing up front tonight. I thought the linebackers had some moments as well. I thought Quan Roberts and Holcomb I felt like had at least one run stop that I was pretty impressed with. Thought Holcomb got picked on a little bit in coverage, had that holding penalty, gave up that catch to Abdullah, and I thought that his zone coverage field, man, just seems so spotty to me through the first couple weeks of this season. But overall, not a bad game for any of those guys. Holcomb had that big hit on that hospital ball that Garoppolo threw to Adams over the middle of the field too. So definitely some splash there at least, and that's definitely good to see. So moving on to the secondary. It was an absolute adventure trying to cover Davante Adams tonight. The Steelers really did an excellent job last year. I did a video on this channel about how they stopped Davante Adams last year. Basically, they just played a ton of two-man and just had somebody in trail technique and a safety over the top. They had no answer tonight. I don't know what was going on aside from, Levi Wallace seemed to be in the screen a lot as the nearest defender to Adams. It really didn't seem like it mattered. They were playing some man, they were playing some spot drop zone, and Adams was getting open really at will. It wasn't just against Wallace. He beat Peterson a couple times. He beat Porter. He beat Fitzpatrick one side of the slot. Adams was one of the best in the game still, even though he's over 30 years old. I think he finished the day with like 170 plus receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. He probably could have had over 2 bills if Garoppolo was a little more accurate on the night as well. But it is something to note moving forward that the Steelers have gotten kind of thrashed by 2 really good receivers. Don't get me wrong, Brandon Ayuk and Davante Adams. That's something to watch moving forward. They're going to play some better offenses, particularly than this Raiders team. So it's going to be interesting to see how the man coverage looks are going forward. I think Joey Porter Jr. is probably going to get his chance sooner rather than later to get more playing time, not just in the dime like he's been playing, but probably on some base stuff as well. But and then the specialists, again, I really feel like the last 2 weeks, man, the specialists have been deserving of a lot of praise. Chris Boswell, 57-yard field goal. I don't know how he does it, man, but it seems like Boz's legs getting stronger like every single year, which is typically not what you really I guess think of when you think of kickers aging. But and then you got to shout out again Presley Harvin, man, like getting just insane numbers these past couple weeks, man. I feel like ever since Mike Tomlin called him out in that press conference a couple weeks ago, they brought in another punter for a tryout, and Harvin's been lights out, man. He was excellent tonight, flip field position, he was consistent, no shanked punts. So really impressive performance from him as well. I think it was a good win. Anytime you can get a win on the road in the NFL is tough. Like I said, I don't think this Raiders team is very good. I thought that the decision from Josh McDaniels to kick the field goal, not once, but twice, was bizarre to me, to be honest with you. I don't know what the analytics or the numbers say behind that decision, but I really am curious on what it says, because I just do not, quite frankly, understand the reasoning behind doing that. But such is life. You take advantage of who you play and, when you play them, where you play them, all that stuff. And I thought that the coaching advantage was pretty evident tonight, even though I really wasn't happy with, Tomlin's decision to take those 2 timeouts into the half without at least trying to go down and score with, 38, 40 seconds or whatever was left. But I thought the difference between him and McDaniels tonight was night and day. for sure. So overall, good win. The Steelers have really struggled, excuse me, on the West Coast. They've struggled to beat the Raiders on the road, and they were able to do that. So I think there are some positive things to build on moving forward. I thought Pickett, again, solid performance. Offense showed some signs of life. I'm very interested to dive into the film and, see kind of some of the stuff that they put in this week and whether, that's sustainable or what things there are to build off of. I still think more under center play action, more gun run stuff, being more multiple, being more varied on offense is going to be a good thing for this unit moving forward. And they got an interesting test. They got the Houston Texans next week. Thank God it's not in prime time, just for my work schedule. But I'm excited to see that game. CJ Stroud's done some encouraging things for a rookie quarterback. Texans are really beat up, though, especially on the offensive line, which is probably music to Steeler fans' ears. That pass rush facing, a Texans offensive line that's already missing, I think, 4 starters, if I recall. So it's going to be an interesting game. It's another road game, so, it could get a little crazy. But I think the Steelers are going to be favored entering this week, and I'm excited to see what that matchup entails. So if you guys watched, I appreciate you watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment on the video. Let me know what you think of the Steelers win tonight against the Raiders. Let me know what you're optimistic about moving forward, some of your concerns moving forward, any of that stuff. And I will check you guys next time. Peace and love.